Hey guys, SmartNinja000 here, and today I have this really cool contraption to make spheres and cylinders just using command blocks. It even allows you to adjust the radius. It's really nice. Now it's not foolproof. There are definitely some times where it breaks. It's just a lot of tests. And it's not too heavy on command blocks. It's really nice because you can even do half values. So let me show you what that. Of course, it's not perfect, but it's probably the closest we're going to get. And you can see over there that little armor stand that's spinning around. That's how it's working, in case you didn't realize. But if you need some nice circles or even cylinders, this is the best way to go. Now for cylinders, it's super easy because you just keep going like this. You can see how it works. It will just keep piling up. For spheres, it's a little bit more difficult, but I will explain how to do that. I didn't actually make that, and you can, of course, do it anywhere. You can use any radius. There's lots of cool ways to do it. But if you want a sphere, what you can do is you can just come over to this, and then you can change the value, and then you put that on top. And you can create spheres, which is really cool. Now, it is done by one armor stand, so obviously it's not perfect. If I were just to, let's get away for this one. If I were to like come over here and do something like 20, it does work. It's actually faster the bigger the radius because the armor stand's only moving so fast. And it does work with really big numbers. So 50, can we do 50? But that's when it's kind of broken. You can see it's moving too fast and the radius is just too far, so it's actually going down a brick. So I think if you're under 20, you should be good with this method. Of course, you can't do stuff like 30. 30 seems to be working fine when I was doing my tests. But as long as you're not too far, you should be great. You can do. Can we do 40? No, we can't do 40. You see, if it goes underneath the ground, then it's too far, and that means it's not actually placing every single block. Of course, you can add them in manually if you really need them. 35. Where is it placing? Oh, 350. Ooh, that would have been bad if that actually started. 35. Yeah, there it is. So I think if you're under 30, I think 30 is the way to go. Of course, you can also do it in just by going like up slowly around. You can see how it does. Just now, this is too big, but you can see how they just keep layering around. And of course, you can't make your spheres with this. So that's nice. Yeah, 33. I think 33 is the number to go. There's some slight errors with it, but it seems to be working fine. Now, if you haven't figured out what's happening already, it is an armor stand over here that is being spun around. Now, what's actually special about this armor stand is its facing. So, this facing took me quite a bit of time to actually get, because if I just grab this, you can see what's about to go wrong with it. So if I TP at P, my coordinates, facing, and yeah, that works too. You can see I'm going to level out once I just do it. Oh, I'm going up. That's weird. Armor stand doesn't go up though, which is nice. That's why it's difficult. But you can see the more I do it, the more it sort of goes down, I guess, until it reaches sort of, I think we got it, but yeah, we'll reach a certain point, and that's the point where it stays. Now, the armor stand, its like head is slightly different from the player, so it made it more difficult, but 1.77, you want to rotate it. You can also do it right, so you can make this number a negative. You can make this smaller, so it's actually slower. You can make it bigger, so it's faster. However, if you make it slower, you have a better chance of it placing the blocks, and if you make it faster, you have a lesser chance of placing the blocks. And we also make it just look forward, just so it's not like right away. But you can see it definitely looks really great. There's lots of cool things you can do with this. You can make your cylinders, you can make your everything. You can even make it load in during the map. That's usually cool, seeing stuff being built. And of course you can use blocks other than stone. What's actually happening is, what's nice about this method is it doesn't rely on the armor stand for anything other than the facing, which means you can basically place a cylinder, well, a circle. So that's like really cool, because it even gets built. Now I really like the smooth lighting with this because you can see the shadowing working away, which is pretty funny. But you can just do something like this and you will have a cylinder. Now you'll notice it actually does, if you fill it in, they all update at the exact same time, so it's not so that's nice. And you can even have multiple. Now you can't even change the radius, so it goes down or up. So this, since we actually did the 10.5, you can see it's different. See, now it's working. There is some differences between the decimal place, so which is nice, just if you want that option. It's just a really nice way to have circles with customizable radius. And in case you're wondering, this is what the armor stand looks like. It is at exactly 0.0 in the Y direction. I think that's why. But it is just spinning around really nicely. You can see it just goes right around. Now it's a lot more finicky. If you're wondering how I'm in the armor stand, it's spectator mode. But it's just a really nice, simple method to make your circles. And you can, of course, do circles. Now circles are actually harder, or spheres I mean, they're harder to make and they're not as precise, although you can see it definitely looks really cool if you do it correctly. And this might look extremely weird, which I think that's actually because I messed up one of the commands. Did I put 2? Yeah, I put 2.6. So it's going to look slightly weird, and of course it doesn't have a perfect radius, but it actually looks really messed up with that. But you can see it does work. Now this should be like this, and you should have your circle. Now it looks more like an egg because I messed that one up, which is kind of throwing off it. But you can see for actual circles, or for spheres, it does not work that well. Of course, if you desperately need your spheres, I have come up with another way. This just relies off the player's direction, which allows you to basically paint it. If you're wondering why it's not exactly where my cursor is, it's because it's going off the command block, not mine. So you just have to kind of look everywhere, look up, down, and you can work towards it. Although in this case, you can see in comparison, here, let me just look over this way a bit. Did we get it? You can see this looks quite different from that. That's more it's just different, I guess. It's not perfect, this method. Of course, if you did want a perfect method, what you could do is you could have one turning around, and then you could have another one spinning, and then you would just, or have one looking up and down while spinning. Of course, that would make it a lot more difficult. So my suggestion is don't try and use it. And I mean, if you really need it very precise, you would have to find the exact radius to use for each layer. Of course, it's Minecraft, so we don't have circles. So if you need the circle, well, then sorry, but can't help you. If you really want a circle, I'd suggest something like a mod that allows it, or world edit, that sort of thing. But the spheres, I keep saying circles, but I mean spheres, because you can see it does not work super well if you just go up by numbers. Now you can figure out the exact radius to use for each level which then doesn't look too bad. And also, if you're going for a very big sort of dome, I think it doesn't actually look too bad as well. So here, what I mean by that is doing something like this, just because it's so far apart, it doesn't really look too bad. And of course, it's not actually going up that high, so you can see what I mean by this. If you're going for a dome shape, this is probably the method to go. And you do have to actually wait for it to come back around, and of course there's sometimes little spots where it misses, in which case you'll just have to fill that in, because of course it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Now also, I'm just stacking up the command blocks on top of each other while copying them, so there's definitely some spots where it like overlaps, I guess. The layers, like right here, this is the best example. But so you'd have to definitely go through this manually, is my suggestion. But it does work really nicely for a hard base, or just making a nice circle for floor. And of course, if you are going to actually do this, if you want the best output, if we can just fly away, you can do something like this, where you do 32.5, and then you do it, and you'll see this looks better. Of course, there's obviously some glitches with it. It's command blocks. Sometimes if it goes around a couple of times, it fixes them out, but it's command blocks, so it's not perfect. But yeah, it does work really nicely. And of course, if you want even easier cylinders, you can do a fill command instead of a set block command. So you could do something such as this, where we do fill. You want to use these local coordinates, so we want 11.5 and 11.5, and we want to go up maybe 10 blocks. You can make really nice spheres, and you can even make it thicker by changing this number. So if you want a thicker one, you can see this is thicker. We'll go around and clean it up a bit. You can even make it a lot thicker than that. Maybe we can go with a nice 6, and you can see you can make there's a lot of customizing with this. And of course, it doesn't have to be stone. I'm just using stone, so it's really obvious what's actually happening. But there we go. You can make your giant shapes and whatnot really nice and easy. Anyway, if you need the commands, they are in the description. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's pretty cool concept. It's really nice. As you can see, there's lots of customizing with it. The armor stand is really cool. The commands are in the description. You just need an armor stand with the name tag, but if you need, that will also be in the description. So you should have all 3 commands. And again, don't try and go too far with it, just because that doesn't work so well. Not exactly sure why, since it says it's at 00. That's probably ever so slightly down. But that's pretty much it. You can, of course, add more numbers to this to try and find it, and you can go slower than that, so you could do 0, 1 to get even more precise. So for some of these really far circles, you can definitely do it. So if we wanted to go maybe 50, you can see it should go around very slowly, but be fixing it. I don't actually know where it is. You guys see it? Yeah, there it is. It's over on the side. But it is fixing it ever so slowly. Although, if you're doing smaller circles, like this, you definitely don't want to do that, because it takes ages to go around. The smaller the circle, the smaller the rotation. The bigger the circle, the bigger the rotation. And of course, you can always, if you really want those big circles, you can always lift it up a block. Or, I'm guessing you just need to add more 7s, because it looks like it's a repeating decimal. But that's pretty much it. I'm going to switch this back. and you can see it should just go right around real nicely. Yeah, it is. Anyways, that's command block looks like it's fixing those holes. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any suggestions of other things you'd like me to try and do with command blocks, then be sure to leave that in the comments. Leave a like if this video helped you, because it helps me for helping you. And well, that's it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bye.